gentle flow and your deep stretch. My name is Laura Beth. We are actually going to get started standing today. So come onto the top of your mat. I know. Take your feet about hip width distance apart. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then if you feel comfortable closing down your eyes, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and do that. And if you don't, you're going to gaze at the tip of your nose or maybe slightly forward with your eyes hanging comfortably open. Now arms are down by the side body with your palms facing forward. You might have a gentle bend to your knees. And then once again, roll your shoulders back so that you can lift your chest and take your collarbones and spread them out wide. Squeeze slightly at the base of your pubic bone. And then draw the pit of your belly in and up. Allow for the crown of your head to reach so your chin is neutral. And then wherever you are in your breath cycle, completely exhale. So empty out your lungs. Let the breath travel all the way out. And then on your next inhale, drag your breath through your nostrils. Let it travel all the way up. Gentle pause at the top. And then exhale, empty it back out. And find a gentle pause at the bottom. Inhale, your breath travels all the way up. Let your rib cage expand, your lungs go to full capacity. And then exhale to empty. Double exhale at the bottom so that you empty everything out. One more just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Now everything else stays the same. The inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, bring your hands down to heart center, Anjali Mudra, thumbs press in towards your sternum. And then just stay right there for a moment. You might notice that your body sways side to side, around. Take this final moment here before we start to move a little bit more to ground down, to clear the mind. And then inhale, reach your arms back up. Gentle bend to your knees. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Forward fold, drop the crown of your head down. You can have as deep of a bend to your knees as you want. So if your hamstrings feel tight at all, the deeper the bend will be, right? Let your chest find your thighs. And then either your hands come down to the ground or grab opposite elbows and just be here, lengthening through your low back. Root down into the four corners of both feet. And if you want a little sway side to side with the torso, you can start to introduce that gently. As y'all can see, I'm out at the beach right now, and I'm going to let you know my body is sore. Walking on the sand, all the stuff. So just feel it all out. It's okay if your body feels different today than it normally does. It's all good, y'all. And then come right back through center. Let your hands come back down to the ground. Now inhale, slide your fingertips to your shins. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back, your belly in and up. And then exhale, hands to the ground. Heel to your feet just a little bit closer. They don't have to come to touch. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, step your left foot to the back of your mat and soften your left knee down to the ground. Now your right knee stays over your heel or your ankle. And inhale, bring your shoulders up over your hips, your arms up over your head. Take your time. Salamba Anjaneyasana. Pull the pit of your belly back. Good. And then press down into all four corners of your right foot. Now left toes can either be tucked under or the top of your foot down. Whatever feels better to you in your knee, your shin. With your inhale, reach your fingertips a little bit higher. And then exhale, drop your left hand down and reach your right arm up and over. So get a side body stretch through the right side. Your left hand can come to your left hip if that feels more supportive. Fingertips to the ground or to a block if you have one. Keep breathing into your side body. So notice with your inhale, your right side rib cage opens. The floating rib might lift up and away from the top of your hip. And then exhale to empty. Now inhale, reach both arms back up to the sky. And then exhale, your right hand comes to your right hip. Reach your left arm up and over, side body stretch now on the left side. Breathe here. Relax your shoulders from your ears. And if it ever gets uncomfortable on your left knee, you can take a towel and place it underneath, right? Now inhale, reach both arms back up to the sky. And then exhale, bring your hands to the small of your back. Point your elbows back. Now if your fingertips point up, if possible, otherwise you can point them down and take the heel of your palm into your low back. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, cricket wing your elbows back so you get an automatic opening through your shoulders, the front, and your chest. Take one more inhale, arch your upper back over an imaginary beach ball. And then exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale for your low lunge. Pull your heart forward, feel your left hip flexor and your psoas stretch. And then exhale, shift your hips back. Straighten your right leg and flex your toes back towards your shin. So you could have a towel underneath your left knee. Pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. Roll your shoulders back, lengthen your spine, and breathe here. If it feels good to take your left hand and start to rub the back of your right hamstring, you absolutely can. And then if you feel this at all around your right knee or your gluteal fold where your glute and your hamstring connect, then you're going to take a bend in your knee so that there's not unnecessary tension, right? Now feel free to stay right here. If you want some IT band work, on your inhale, lift your chest. And then as you exhale, roll your right pinky toe down to the ground while flexing your right foot open towards the top of your mat. Keep pulling the right pinky back towards your shin and breathe. Again, you can have a bend to your right knee. This shouldn't be painful, it just might be uncomfortable, right? There's a difference. And then inhale, bring your toes back up. With your exhale, take your right big toe over to the left. Try to flatten your foot to the ground like you're trying to take your outer edge of your foot towards the top of your mat. Pull your right hip back, keep breathing. Roll your shoulders back, open your chest. Good. Now inhale, take your right toes back up to the sky. Stay for your exhale. Inhale to walk yourself forward, nice and slow. Curl up your left toes, lift your left knee. And then it's a giant step forward, your left foot to the top of your mat, but take your feet about hip width distance apart. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold yourself down. Now bring your hands down to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. Take your right hand, drop it like you're making an equilateral triangle with your feet and your right hand, and then spin your right fingertips towards the left side of your mat. Bend into the right knee, straighten your left leg. Now take your left arm up to the sky. Try to stack your shoulders, stack your clavicles. Perfect. It's okay if the right heel doesn't go completely flat, right? Perfect. There it is, yeah. But bend your right knee, there it is, yes. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, ragdoll. Drop your left hand back down, soft bend to your knees, grab your elbows, and sway side to side. Come right back through center, switching sides. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Left hand comes down where the right hand was. Now spin your left fingertips towards the right edge of your mat. Stack your shoulder, elbow, wrist, and then reach your right arm up to the sky. Traditional drishti, your gaze would follow your right fingertips. And then try to stack your right shoulder, your right clavicle on top of the left. So opening up through your upper thoracic, middle thoracic spine. And then there's also something going on with your cervical spine, your neck, especially if you're taking your gaze up. If that doesn't serve you, just look to the right side of the room or keep your gaze down. It's all good. One more inhale. And exhale, ragdoll right back at the top of your mat. You can sway side to side. And let your hands come back down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, hands down. Step your right foot to the back of your mat. And soften your right knee down to the earth. Low lunge here on this side. Inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Stay right here for your exhale. So your left knee tracks your heel or your ankle. There might be a little squeeze to your right glute, your right hamstring. Perfect. And then pull the pit of your belly back so you're supporting your lumbar spine. Reach your arms up overhead if and when you're ready. It's extra, you don't have to, right? We are going to stretch the side body, so just kind of know that going into it. And then with your inhale, reach your fingertips a little bit higher. Nice. And then exhale, drop your right hand either to your hip, to the ground, or a block, and reach your left arm up and over. Deep stretch for the left side body. Breathe here. Watch your left knee. Now inhale, take both arms back up to the sky. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. So that's where you get your support, your stability, and your balance. Reach as tall as you can, and then exhale, drop your left hand down to your left hip, and reach your right arm up and over, getting that same stretch. Now the right side body. Notice what happens as you inhale, how it intensifies, and on the exhale, you might feel a little bit more contraction on the left side body, emptying out. And then inhale, take both arms up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands down to the small of your back. Cricket wing your elbows back. So your hands, fingertips can either point down or up. It depends on your hip, your wrist crease kind of flexibility. Gentle press of your hips forward. Pull the pit of your belly in. And if you feel this in your low back, take the top of your pubic bone and slide it up towards your navel. Roll your shoulders back and start to arch your upper back. Look up. Breathe. One more inhale. You might bring your shoulders back over your hips. And then exhale, bring your hands down, frame your front foot. Give yourself a second first. Inhale to pull your heart forward and feel the right hip kind of draw gravitationally down towards the ground. And then exhale, shift yourself back, straighten your left leg, flex your toes back towards your shin. So let your left hip pull back, your right hip forward. And you can either tuck your right toes underneath you, or the top of your right foot can be flat down. You decide. Draw your belly in and up. Perfect. Deep breaths. You can have a bend in your knee if you need it. And then you can stay here. Or you inhale, lengthen your spine. You want the IT band work. Exhale, spin your left pinky toe down towards the ground while flexing your left foot towards the top of your mat. So you're kind of really taking the sole of your foot towards the top. But you might have noticed I started to shift over to the right. Try to keep your right hip, your thigh, and your knee in a straight line so you swivel the hips just a little bit. You can also keep the bend in your left knee. When you inhale, lift your toes back to the sky. And then exhale, spin your left big toe towards the right and try to flatten your left foot down to the ground so that the outer edge is kind of lining up with the short edge, the top of your mat. It's okay if it doesn't get flat. None of this has to be perfect, y'all. For my people that bike and run and walk and all of that, this is humbling. On your inhale, lift your left toes back up to the sky. Stay for your exhale. Now inhale, walk yourself forward. Curl up your back toes. Lift your back knee. It changes here. Exhale, step your left foot to the back of your mat and lift your hips up to your inverted letter V, your downward facing dog. Feet might be about hip width distance apart. Hands may be shoulder width distance apart, but if those dimensions don't sit well with you, change it, fix it, right? It's all good. What's going on with this music here? And then allow for your tailbone to really kind of move up towards the diagonal. On your next inhale, roll into your high plank. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. And then exhale, bring your knees down to the ground. And then come all the way down to your belly. Bring your forehead down to the earth. Slide your hands outside of your shoulders. And then inhale, roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. And then exhale, come right back down. Inhale, shoulders back, lift your chest. And exhale, melt it back down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Now exhale, tuck your toes, shift your hips back towards your heels, and find a tuck-toed child's pose. Drape your chest on your thumbs, drop your forehead down, soften your shoulders from your ears, and then you can roll your forehead side to side. Now if that bothers your knees, I'm going to kind of show you all with Allison here. I'm going to use her since you're here. You can roll up a towel, lift up, and I'm going to place this right here between your knees, and then sink it back. So it relieves some of the pressure off of your knees, so that you're not sitting all of your weight back and increasing that flexion that's happening in your knees. So if you have those kinds of things, use them, right? There should be no pain. It might be uncomfortable at times, but it shouldn't be painful. All right, y'all. So from here, I want you to imagine something like an undulation of your spine, kind of like a body wave. We've done these before. But on your inhale, and you can leave the towel there, Allie. On your inhale, lift your hips up and shift yourself forward. Eyes of your elbows forward. And then exhale, bend your elbows, melt your chest down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your heart. Exhale, shift yourself back, tuck-toed child's pose. You're going to do 3 more just like that. Don't overthink it, just move. Inhale, lift yourself up, shift forward. And then exhale, bend your elbows, melt it down. Inhale, roll your heart back, lift. Exhale, take your hips to your heels. Last 2. Inhale, lift. You can even arch your upper back, round forward. Exhale, bend your elbows, soften down. Inhale, lift your chest, Bhujangasana Cobra pose. Exhale, hips to heels. Balasana Child's pose, last 1. Inhale, lift, shift forward. Exhale, bend your elbows, soften it down. Inhale, roll back and lift. And then exhale, take your hips to your heels. All right, so inhale, just press up into your box pose. Stack your joints. So shoulders, elbows, and wrists. And then bring your knees underneath your hips. Stay right here. Press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And then inhale, let a soft belly drop down. Lift your chin, lift your tail. Roll your shoulders back. And then exhale, reverse the movement. Dome out your upper back. Drop your head down and tuck your chin. Now inhale, articulate through your spine. Let your hips drop kind of down. Lift your chest, lift your chin, lift your gaze. Your heart's kind of pressing forward in between your upper arm bones. And then you exhale to reverse the movement. Some of you will notice your ears drop down between your upper arm bones. That doesn't quite happen for me. Last 2. Inhale, belly down. Lift your chin, lift your gaze. And exhale, belly up. Navel to your spine. Dome out your upper back and drop your head down. Last 1. Inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, come back into a neutral spine. On your exhale, curl up your toes. Use the pit of your belly to lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Now just a bit of standing series today to kind of flush out everything in the body. Inhale, float your right leg up into the sky. Find a three-leg dog. Exhale, bend your right knee, stack your hip, yawn it open, but watch your right shoulder. And then on your inhale, re-straighten your right leg. And then exhale, step your right foot through. Take as many or as few steps as you need. And let your left heel go flat. Inhale, bend into your right knee. And then bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. There it is, perfect, Allison. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. Arms to the sky or hands to heart center. It's really whatever you choose. Roll your shoulders back. Draw the pit of your belly in. Kind of get yourself where you need to be here so that you're pressing actively into the outer edge of your left foot and your right knee is still over your heel or your ankle. Breathe here. Rolling into so notice if you're rolling to the outer edge of your right foot, right? It's very typical. And try to press down through the medial arch as well, so that inner arch. One more inhale here. Now exhale, straighten your right leg, hinge at your right hip, and bring your hands down. Allow for your right hip to pull back, your left hip to pull forward, so your pyramid pose. And if shortening your stance would be better for you, then kick your left foot slightly forward. Yeah, exactly, right there. And then remember, the more your navel slides towards your right thigh bone, the more this kind of levels and squares your hips off naturally. Perfect job. Now on your next inhale, soft bend back into your right knee. Let your left heel stay flat. And then exhale, windmill open, warrior two, right side. Now you might have to fix up your feet since we went from warrior one to warrior two. Perfect. And then you angle your left toes slightly inward, and then your right knee and your right toes are at 12 o'clock, straight towards the top of your mat. Open your arms out to a T, relax your shoulders back and down. Now take your gaze to your right fingertips so that nothing else matters. And if you notice, you start to think. Remind yourself, I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing in, and I'm breathing out, and I know I'm breathing out. Now inhale, flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. Focus on stretching through your right side body. Left hand reaches down, right arm reaches over. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale your right forearm to your right thigh, and your left arm reaches up and over. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can drop your right hand down towards the ground as long as all of your weight's not in your right hand. Remember, today is a gentle flow, but still moving just enough. You can circle out your top arm if that feels good to you. On your inhale, find your warrior two. Reach your arms up, shoulders over your hips. And then exhale, windmill your hands down. Step your right foot back. And lift your hips to downward facing dog. Now, if you need a full vinyasa, go for it, right? It's all good. I'm keeping it gentle, so I am a chaturanga free zone today. Now, on your inhale, root down into your right foot. Float your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your left knee. Stack your hip, yawn it open. Stay for just a moment or whatever. Did you hear that? And then extend your left leg as you inhale. Told you. And then exhale, step your left foot all the way forward. Your right heel goes flat. Bend into your left knee. Pull the pit of your belly in. Now inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Settle in for your exhale. So warrior one, left side. Engage your right glute, your right hamstring. Bend into your left knee. And then kind of notice where your foot's kind of rolling to. Then zip the pit of your belly in and up. Soften down. Hands at heart if you want. Roll your shoulders back. Breathe here. One more inhale. And then exhale, straighten your left leg, hinge at your left hip, and bring your hands down. Once you're there, you can kick in your right foot a little bit. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. And then press down into the big toe ball mound of your left foot. And then just be here and breathe. That's all good. My left leg is shaking. All right, y'all. Next inhale, bend back into your left knee. Let your right heel go flat. And then exhale, windmill open, warrior two, left side. Drop your hips and your tailbone down. And then ideally, you want your left heel to match up more or less with your right inner arch, but if it's not perfect, it's fine. Gaze over your left fingertips, shoulders down. Now exhale, settle in. Inhale, flip your left palm, reverse your warrior. Stay for your exhale. Inhale to reach your left fingertips back a little bit more. And then exhale your left forearm to your left thigh. Your right arm reaches up and over. Option to slide your left hand down, get a little bit deeper to your left hip. Just keep breathing. And circle out your top arm if you'd like. And then inhale, warrior two. Shoulders over your hips. Open your arms out to a T. Exhale, windmill your hands down. Step your left foot back. And lift your hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Now inhale, take a bend to your knees and look forward. Exhale, step your right foot outside your right hand. Your left foot outside your left hand. Turn your heels and your toes out and drop your bottom low. Malasana yogic squat. Hands to heart center. And breathe. Nice, y'all. All right. Feel free to stay right here. If you'd like, you can take your right arm out in front of your right shin and reach your left arm up to the sky. Gaze follows your left hand and just breathe in here. Exhale, draw your palms back to heart center. Lift your chest. And then the left side, inhale, left arm out in front of your left shin. Your right arm reaches up to the sky, opening up through your chest, through your shoulders. One more inhale. And exhale, hands together. Now bring your hands down. Inhale, lift your hips. Turn your toes to 12 o'clock and heel toe them just a little bit closer together. And then exhale, forward fold. Now adding on just a little bit here. Inhale, I'm going to bring my feet to touch, but you can leave yours hip width distance apart if you choose. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, and then reach your arms high. Utkatasana chair pose. Arms up, bellies in, bottoms back and down, like you're actually sitting in a chair. Now take an inhale here. Exhale, legs stay the same, but bring your hands to heart center. And y'all, I really do want you to make this gentle today, okay? Right leg is your base. Just lift your left leg, cross it over the right, and drop your toes down. Yeah, so you can either do a figure four like Ali's got, or you can drop your, no, it's perfect. Or drop your toes down so that you're not balancing everything on your right leg. Inhale, open your arms to a T. Exhale, take your left arm, cross it under the right. You can either hug opposite shoulders, or it's a gentle eagle, palm to palm. Just breathe here, trying to open up your upper back, right? Shoulders over your hips, bellies in. One more inhale, straighten your right leg, unravel. Straighten both legs, reach your arms out and up. And exhale to fold. Now inhale, bend your knees, sit your hips back and down. Reach your arms back up. You're right back here in your chair pose. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, lift your right leg, cross it over the left. Drop your toes down. Inhale, open your arms out. And exhale, cross your right arm under the left. Either hug opposite shoulders or eagle up your arms. Breathing here. It's a gentle eagle, so just getting a little bit of a twist with the body, some compression. And then slowly begin to straighten the left leg, unravel. And then everything unravels. Legs straight, arms up.
On the exhale, bind up your hands at the small of your back. So Baddha Hasta, interlace your fingers or grab opposite elbows, whichever your upper back's gonna work with. And then inhale, puff up your chest. And exhale to fold. Drop your head down. Perfect. Very good. And then maybe a soft bend to the knees. Yeah, and then drop your head down completely. Beautiful. One more inhale. Exhale, drop your hands down to the ground. Now inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, bring your hands down, step your feet back, and soften down onto hands and knees. Cross your feet at the ankles or kind of slide your feet out to the side, whatever feels better to you. You're coming to a seated position. We will come back down to the belly in a minute, but for right now, Paschimottanasana. So extend your legs out in front of you. I know, I broke sweat too. I'm like, what happened here? And then flex your toes back towards your shin. Find the front edge of your sits bones. So you might have to kind of move flesh out of the way. It's all good. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then you can bend your knees a lot. On the exhale, hinge at your hips rather than at your waist. Take your heart forward, your clavicles forward, and reach your hands forward. Now your hands may or may not find your feet. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty compact in my body, so it's easy to get to, right? If you have long legs, it's a little bit harder. So bend your knees. Think of spinning your thigh bones slightly internally so that your second and your third toe point up rather than out or in. Roll your shoulders back. Now inhale, lengthen your spine. Pull your heart forward. Exhale, melt down just a little bit more. Now some of you might find this pretty accessible. If that's you, little by little your legs are going to straighten out. And you might bind your hands on the other side of your feet. You might have a block, place it on the other side of your feet. Something to just intensify whatever it is that you're doing. If this already feels like a lot of work, you stay here and you breathe into it. On your inhale, lift your gaze. And on the exhale, walk your hands back up. Now bring your hands back behind your hips and bend your knees. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. And then flex your right foot, and let your right knee just kind of hang open. So from here, your left foot might move forward a lot. It might come in closer. You've got to kind of feel out what feels best to you. Theoretically, the closer your left hip goes to your left heel, the deeper this is for your hip opening. I think I've told y'all before, I actually find that the closer my hip is, my glute is to my left heel, if it's too close, I feel nothing at all. So I have to find that sweet spot. So you got to do the same thing, basically what I'm getting at. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. One more inhale here. Now on the exhale, extend your left leg long and drop your right foot to the outside of your left thigh, coming into a seated twist. So you have the option to leave your left leg long. If the hips are feeling spacious today, you might bend your left knee and let your left heel come in towards your right glute. Use your right arm like a second spine. Bring it behind your right hip. Inhale, lengthen. Reach your left arm up. And then exhale, twist over to the right. You can either hug your right knee in, whatever's going to allow you to lengthen your spine while you twist. Or you can hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee or right thigh. And then gaze over your right shoulder. But breathe. Wherever you are, you should breathe. On your inhale, gaze forward. And then exhale, drop your hands over to the left for a counter twist. And then we inhale, come back through center. Exhale, unravel your legs, bring your feet underneath your knees and your hands behind you. Your fingertips point towards you, and then spread your fingers out wide and really press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And then inhale, lift your hips up for a reverse tabletop. So now you're opening your hips up the other way. Gaze to the ceiling. And navel, and lift your hips, lift your chest. Yes, girl, perfect. One more breath in. And exhale, sit your hips back down. Breathe. Perfect. So now your knees are bent. Take your left ankle, cross it over your right knee, your right thigh, and lift your chest. Flex your left foot. And then figure out kind of where you need to go so you're getting something for your left hip. And keep your chest lifted, shoulders back. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, extend your right leg long in front of you. Take your left foot and drop it over to the outside of your right thigh, but flatten your left foot down to the ground. You have the choice. Leave your right leg long or bend your right knee and bring your heel in towards your left glute. Left arm becomes the second spine. Take your hand behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm high. And then exhale, either hug your left knee in, twisting over to the left, or slide your right elbow to the outside of your knee or thigh and gaze towards the back of your mat or kind of towards the left side of the room, whatever your neck feels better. Breathe. On your inhale, turn your gaze forward. And then exhale, drop your hands over to the right and get your counter twist. Exhale, exhale, inhale, come right back through center. Exhale, unravel, drop your feet down underneath your hips, underneath your knees. Bring your hands behind your hips with your fingertips pointing towards you. And then inhale, lift your hips up. Lift your chest, gaze to the ceiling, and press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. So your second and final reverse tabletop. Inhale, lift your hips, and then exhale to sit yourself back down. One more time, extend your legs out in front of you. Inhale to reach your arms up. You can bend your knees, and then exhale, fold over your thighs. Relax your shoulders back and down. Pull your chest forward, so think of lengthening your spine to the best of your ability. And then slowly walk yourself back up. This time bend your knees, cross your feet at the ankles so that you can come forward onto hands and knees. And then gently come all the way down to your belly. Let your forehead come down. And then reach your arms forward, so fingertips forward. Now bend your right knee and reach your right hand back and catch your right ankle. And just take a quad stretch for a moment. So feel this on the front side of your right leg into your hip flexor. And then you have the opportunity, if you want, to kind of reach towards the inner arch of your foot, spin your upper arm bone internally, or keep holding on to the kind of outer arch if that feels better to you. Option is to stay right here, or to kick your right foot into your right hand, and then lift your left leg, lift your left hand. It's like a half bow, yeah? Keep spinning your thigh bones internally. Gaze is just down towards your mat. Neck is long. One more inhale. And then exhale, let your left leg, left hand come down. Softly release your right foot, reach your right arm forward. And then bend both knees, windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Right back to center, both feet down. And then bend your left knee. Reach your left hand back and catch your left ankle. And give yourself a quad stretch on the left side. Now, option is to stay right here. Taking the hand grip that feels best to you. Just make sure you can spin your upper arm bone internally and soften your shoulder from your ear. Kick into your left hand if you want it. Float your right foot, your right arm, gaze down. Neutral spine. No, neutral neck. How about that? Breathe. Pull your belly in and up to support your lumbar spine. One more inhale. And then exhale, soften back down. Release your left foot, left arm reaches forward. Now bend both knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side. Come right back to center. Let your feet drop down to the ground. Now your arms are reaching forward. Take your right arm and weave it underneath the left with your palm face down, unless you really need to turn it up, which is fine. If you want to turn your palm face up, go for it. So like I'm going to turn my right palm face up. And you're kind of looking for this space where your left armpit finds your right elbow crease. And then you can take your forehead down, or your right ear down, whatever feels better. You could wad up your towel. Grab your towel for you. I got you. It's the beauty of being able to do this in person. I got you. Just get that opening through the outside of your right shoulder, right? Your upper back, depending on where you're feeling. I want to say enjoy it, right? But that's all relative. You'll slide your left hand back in front of your face. Press your palm down so that you can inhale, lift to unthread your right arm. And then as you exhale, take your right arm out to the side body now, palm face down. So it's a straight line from your right shoulder. And then if you feel like it's kind of, you'll notice once we start to get into this, you might have to even lift it up a little bit, right? Now let your left hand come outside of your chest. Bend your left knee. Press into your left palm, and now roll over your right arm. Let your left foot drop behind your right leg. Perfect. And let your head come back down. Yeah, and grab your towel. There it is. Does that feel okay? Okay. And just breathe into that space. It's really going to get into the front of your shoulder. And then those of you, if this isn't kind of, you're not feeling anything, you know you can reach your left arm back. You could bend your right knee and let both glutes eventually come down to the ground, all that stuff. But I can't see you, so I don't know. One more inhale. And then exhale, just roll back onto your belly. Unravel and slide your right hand underneath your shoulder, outside of your chest. And just kind of lay there for a second. Roll your hips side to side maybe. And then reach your right arm forward. Lift your chest up And weave your left arm underneath the right. So you can go palm down, palm up. This time it's your right armpit, kind of looking for your left elbow crease. So you can slide your blanket, your towel, whatever it is that you have, if you have a bolster from home, underneath your head. And you might have to move everything around. You're really looking for this to get around your scapula. I kind of feel it in my pecs, but they're tight right now. So play around with it, right? Relax your eyebrows and your jaw. Now slide your right hand out in front of your face so you can press your palm down. Inhale to lift your chest to unthread the needle. And then exhale, take your left arm all the way out at shoulder height, all the way to the left. Palm face down. Bend your right knee, press into your right palm, and then roll over your left shoulder. Ideally, it's going to be right in alignment with your left shoulder, the whole arm. So if you're not feeling it, check that first, right? It's possible. And then if you're needing more, you can kind of reach your right arm back, do all your things. I was like, God, I need a pop. All right, let your right hand come back in front of your face if it moved. Inhale, and then exhale, roll onto your belly. Slide both hands outside of your chest. Now inhale, lift your shoulders, and then exhale, press your hips back to your heels for your child's pose. That feels comfortable, I'm not sure, guys. All right, Sean, let your chest drape on top of your thighs. That's kind of fat, honey. Unroll it enough, maybe. Now inhale, press up onto your box pose. And on the exhale, just so you feel the lengthening, find your downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. And then inhale, float your right leg up. And exhale your right knee to your right wrist for half pigeon. Slide your left leg back. Oh, got my inner thighs. And let your left hip feel heavy. Pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, melt yourself down. Now if this is uncomfortable, you can always do this on your back and take your right ankle on top of your left knee. So if you have any kind of knee issues, this is probably going to feel better. Yeah, perfect. And then you flex both feet. Breathe here. Relax your brows, relax your jaw. Notice if your shoulders started to brace for impact. Alright, so slide your hands back. Inhale, lift your chest. If you're on your back, you're just going to roll up. So I'm going to roll over to the right so I can slide my left leg out in front of me. Take your right foot in towards your left inner thigh. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead, Janu Shirshasana A. Exhale, hinge at your left hip, reach your arms forward. Yeah, perfect. And then bend your left knee. A lot. Yeah, perfect. And flex your toes back. There it is. Okay, your left knee can be as bent as you need it to be so that there's no pain in your low back. You're looking for release in your low back on the right side. Perfect job. And then slowly walk yourself up. Only if you're into it. This is just 1 second. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, your right hand can drop back behind your right hip. Inhale, lift your hips, lift your chest. Left foot goes flat, left arm reaches up and over. And then sit yourself back down, face forward. Cross your feet at the ankles. You can just roll onto your back, cross the left ankle over right knee. If you're going into traditional half pigeon, you're going to lift back up into your downward facing dog. If you're going into a reclined variation, just lie back on your back and cross your left ankle over your right knee. From down dog, inhale, float your left heel high. And exhale, bring your left knee to your left wrist and slide your right leg long behind you. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Let your right hip feel heavy and wrap forward. And then exhale to melt yourself down. Arms can reach forward, out, back, whatever feels good. Alright, you're in your traditional half pigeon. Slide your hands underneath your chest and inhale to kind of lift yourself up. And then exhale, roll over to your left hip and bring your right leg out in front of you. If you're on your back, just roll up. And now we have right leg extended. Bring the sole of your left foot towards your right inner thigh. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your right hip and fold over. You can have as deep of a bend to your right knee as you need or want. Perfect. Relax your shoulders back and down and pull your heart forward towards your right ankle. And then slowly inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, walk yourself back up. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, drop your left hand behind your left hip, and then inhale, press into your left palm, your left knee, your left shin. Right foot goes flat. You can lift your hips, lift your chest. Beautiful. And when you're ready, go ahead and sit yourself back down, face forward, and extend both legs long in front of you. Now roll down one vertebra at a time until you find yourself down on your back. And then once you get there, inhale, reach your arms up overhead and find your full body stretch. Exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. And then maybe you drop them over to the right and turn your gaze to the left for a spinal twist. Allow both shoulders to remain heavy. And then inhale, one knee at a time. Draw yourself back into center. And exhale, drop your knees to the left. Turn your face to the right. And your inhale, slowly come back through center. On the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up to your knees. And if there's anything else that you need to do to close down your practice, feel free to do so. Otherwise, exhale, extend your legs forward. Let your feet hang comfortably open. Your arms can come out by the side body or up overhead, whatever feels good. And find your Shavasana. The bottom side of your body is heavy, it's weighted, it's grounded, and then the top side is light and weightless, floating. And rest. What you need is to be here a little bit longer. You're going to tune me out. Stay right where you are. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on the inhale, float your arms up overhead. Find a full body stretch. And on the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins for a moment. And then you can either roll over to the right or press up into your comfortable sit, just right where you are. We'll all meet in Sukhasana, or if you're still resting, just stay. Hands can rest in your lap, on your knees, or palms together in Anjali Mudra, heart center. You take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for the fact that we have this practice to show up to. We have gentle days. And I hope you have, at whatever time it is that you take this practice, a great rest of your day. Namaste.